Hey guys, Mark here with another edition of Weaponized Truth, and this story's actually pretty darn interesting for a couple of reasons. Some of this information we already knew, but the fact that it is coming out and circulating again uh, is also pretty interesting. Um, Some of this was new information to me, and it might be new for you as well. What this is talking about right here is how the U.S. military admits to using toxic depleted uranium rounds in Syria. And it says right here, when depleted uranium rounds were first developed in the Cold War, they were only intended to be used as a last resort. They were for making mincemeat out of Soviet tanks during a potential global war. At that point, it wouldn't really matter if radioactive rounds were raining down on Western Europe because the whole continent would have been burned into an irradiated wasteland by then. But somewhere along the line, our military decided that it was okay to use these heavy armor-piercing rounds in conventional conflicts. They've been used in Kosovo, Iraq, Afghanistan, where the locals have claimed for years that the rounds cause heightened cancer and birth defect risk. Now we can add Syria to the list of countries that have been irradiated by these rounds. In 2015, the military claimed they would not be using DE rounds in Syria, and for good reason. These munitions are for punching through heavily armored tanks, which ISIS doesn't have in any significant numbers. But CENTCOM spokesman Major Josh Jocks recently admitted that the military had in fact deployed these rounds on vehicles used by ISIS. You hear that? Our Central Command said that we have deployed these depleted uranium rounds designed for piercing tanks to vehicles used by ISIS. Our Central Command is saying that we're giving ISIS depleted uranium bullets to use against our own tanks. So not only are we using these munitions that can cause birth defects and cancer against an army with no tanks, but we're actually giving it to the enemy so they can use it against ours. I'll leave a link to the story.